Life is easily one of the most unique forces on our planet. Life first emerged over 3.5 billion years ago in the form of single cells. Life has now diversified to the point where it's difficult to believe much of it came from a common source. However, there are some features that are common across all life. All life can and will reproduce, grow, excrete waste, eat, respirate, synthesize new chemicals, transport materials throughout the body, and regulate the body's condition. This definition of life excludes viruses from our discussion. Viruses hijack cells in order to produce more viruses, and they are not capable of performing the functions necessary to be considered because they are strands of DNA or RNA. Now that we got that out of the way, we can discuss our 6 kingdoms. These kingdoms are Fungi, Plantae, Animalia, Bacteria, Archaea, and Protista. Archaea are the least well-known kingdom. They are prokaryotes with no nucleus or specialized organelles. Archaea are hard to study because most of them don't replicate in lab conditions. Archaea were once considered a type of bacteria, but they were separated from bacteria due to their membrane and cell structure being completely different. Many Archaea are extremophiles and intuitively live in extreme conditions, like hydrothermal vents and glacial ice. They also live in more familiar locations like your gut. Archaea do not cause any disease that we know of. Archaea are unicellular prokaryotes that can survive in extreme conditions and have unique cell membranes and proteins as compared to bacteria. Similar to Archaea, bacteria are also prokaryotes. Bacteria are much more common than Archaea. Every inch of your skin is covered with 1,000 different species of bacteria. This fact would probably make a few of the germaphobes watching squirm in their seats. But they shouldn't worry because 99.90% of bacteria are completely harmless. Some bacteria like E. coli are harmful, but they are usually preventable if you take proper hygiene and sanitation seriously. Bacteria are highly diversified and occupy every corner of Earth. Bacteria use tendrils called flagellum in order to move. Bacteria can react to light and chemicals and move away or towards the stimuli. Bacteria eat by taking food into the membrane and forming a food vacuole around it. Enzymes are taken into the food vacuole in order to digest it. Material that cannot be digested is excreted. Bacteria are prokaryotes that move using flagellum and eat using vacuoles. They are single-celled microbes and are more numerous than any other life form. Protista is the group of eukaryotes that excludes plants, animals, and fungi. Eukaryotes are cells with a nucleus. Protista range from unicellular amoeba to multicellular seaweed. Multicellular protists do not have specialized cells or organs. Protista cells are larger than prokaryotes and much more complex. They still use flagellum to propel themselves, however. Protista, like algae, use energy from the sun in order to produce sugars, while paramecium swallow prey whole in order to digest them. Stentors are another type of protista. They are horn-shaped shells that create vortexes using tendrils around their mouths in order to suck in food. Suctorians use spikes extended from their bodies in order to paralyze prey. They then retract these prey into their cell and form a food vacuole in order to eat them. These are only a few of the members of the Protista kingdom. These examples should provide an idea of the diverse nature of the group. Fungi are the first kingdom we'll cover that are mostly multicellular. Fungi are a diverse group that includes yeast, molds, mushrooms, and mildews. The group does not include slime molds, however, although they are a relatively similar group. It was once thought that fungi were a type of plant, but it has become clear that fungi are heterotrophs, meaning that they eat to produce energy instead of photosynthesizing. Also, DNA analysis has revealed that fungi are closer to animals, as bizarre as that sounds. Fungi cells are lined with chitin. Chitin provides structural support in fungi and allows some to grow to unbelievable proportions. Fungi grow from the tips of filaments that make up their body, called mycelia. They digest organic material before absorbing it through mycelia. Mushrooms are the most recognizable members of the kingdom, although they are not the most numerous. Fungi grow in every conceivable nook and cranny of our environment, including our bodies. Fungi are important detritivores, and they decompose much of the dead mass that accumulates in dirt. Yeast is a notable member as it has helped us make bread and alcohol for centuries. Yeast is now studied by scientists and helps us understand biology much more intimately. There are also fungi that harm people like ringworm, athlete's foot, or bread molds. One member of the Armillaria solipides species has grown to be the largest living organism on Earth. It has grown to be 10 square kilometers in area and is nicknamed the humongous fungus. It lives in Oregon. Plants are autotrophs, and their cells are filled with chlorophyll. Plants are at the bottom of most ecosystems. Cell walls are made of cellulose. Cellulose allows plants to be very sturdy. Trees can grow to over 100 feet tall. Plants are easily identifiable because of their green coloration. Chlorophyll is green and affects the color. Photosynthesis is the process plants use to produce sugars from carbon dioxide. The carbon is used while the oxygen is a waste product that is put back into the atmosphere. Plants cannot extract other chemicals like nitrogen from the atmosphere, so they have developed other methods to extract it from their environment. Most plants extract nutrients through root systems, which also anchor them to the ground. In nutrient-poor environments, plants can resort to more exotic methods. One example is the Venus flytrap, who extracts nutrients through predatory behavior. Moss can extract nutrients directly from rock and often grows where other plants can't. Lichen serves the same purpose, but it's not a pure plant. Lichen is a composite organism that is made up of the lichen plant and fungus. Animals are similar to fungus in the fact that they also have mitochondria. Mitochondria produce energy for the cell. Animal cells lack a rigid cell wall. Animal cells are held together by proteins like collagen. All animals except sponges have specialized tissues that serve different functions. Most animals are capable of complex behavior and rapid movement because of this. Most animals reproduce sexually. In this process, a sperm cell and an egg will fuse to form a zygote. Some animals will develop directly into adults, while most have a larval stage. Larvae are distinct from adults. Metamorphosis transforms larvae into an adult. Tadpoles become frogs, and caterpillars become butterflies. Sponges are the most primitive form of animal life. All other animals are bilaterally or radially symmetric. Starfish seem like an exception to this rule, but they do have bilateral symmetry as well as pentaradial symmetry. Humans are a member of this bilaterally symmetric group. Now that we know all of the groups of different creatures, let's take a look at some living things and see if we can identify what kingdom they belong to. We're not looking at those long green things, we're looking at those hard-shelled yellow things with little gooey bodies underneath. Oop, that one fell. If you guessed animals, you're right. Take a look at these green discs. These are plants. Plant, animal, and fungi.